Hi there, my name is Nick Wiedenhoff, and I decided to do my project on Google Classroom. In my school district, we switched over to Google a couple years ago and just started using all of the apps. Google Drive, for example, was the first thing everyone started using. Google Docs, Google Slides, all that stuff. And just through more and more experience and practice using them, I really enjoyed all of the apps they were having. And then I started using Google Classroom, and I really found it very beneficial to the students, easy for them to access their information. And I also really found it very easy to organize all of their work when they were going to turn it in just through the classrooms. So, for example, here's one of my classes and through Google Classroom. And they had a writing assignment to work on, and they were working on a body systems. And down here you can see they can click on here and get the slides, but they also can click on this Google Doc that I created for everybody, and they can type in their information. And from there, when they submit it, all I have to do is click on the done right there, and all of my work, all of the students' work, will be right there for me to see. So I don't have to go searching for it. They don't have to share things with me. It's really convenient, and I find it really easy for it to organize everything and for me to see the information right away. Back to my project here. I use Course Sites as my tools to set up the professional development, and I used it. I find Blackboard pretty easy to use just from taking classes, and it was pretty easy to set up for me. Over here on the left-hand side, where I'm pointing here, is my syllabus. I put this on here for the educators who participate in this for me. They click on it. They can open up for them, get an idea of the course, the description, the objectives that were going to get completed there, so they had an idea of what was going to be accomplished. Then over here on the Content tab, the first thing they did, I set up a Google Classroom for them to join. I wanted to do this so that way they could see how the students would join. So just by clicking this link, it took them to the Google Classroom main page, and right down here that I highlighted there was a class code for them to type in. This is just a way, again, like I said, for the educators to see how students would join a classroom. I posted some information on there as well for them if they wanted to use that. The second thing I had down here was a pre-survey. They just clicked on the link, and I used Google Forms for this. Just some basic questions on their Google knowledge, just the technology that Google offers and how comfortable they are with it and how much they have used it. Back to my course site here. I also posted a link to a article from Google that talks about the benefits and the features of Google Classroom, just so they could see kind of the benefits and why to set it up. Sometimes teachers, they might think the technology is just a little too hard for them to set up, and they just want to stick with what they've been doing. So I just wanted them to see just the benefits and how it would help them. The first assignment I had for them was to create their own Google Classroom. I put a PowerPoint together here so they could see step-by-step directions on how to set up a classroom. I was able to take some basic things here, and I was also able to take some screenshots and put the arrow there so they could see, step by step where they needed to click, just to help them out as much as I could for starting up their first Google Classroom. After that, I had them, as you can see down here, I had students join. Had them have students join their classroom, and then I also had them create their first assignment. For this, I said just start off with sharing a link to a document, and there was a step-by-step instructions for that through Google Classroom. Next, I asked for some feedback on Google Classroom, kind of what they thought, how they thought it all looked. And for the feedback, I set up a discussion board over here where I could get their feedback. It was all in one place, organized, so I could see everybody's and they could see each other's. One of the first things I have up here is just classroom questions for if they wanted to interact with each other, with me, if they had any questions. I had them also post their classroom link right here. And then the third thing I had was the feedback on how it went. And everybody said the PowerPoints were helpful. It was very easy to set up. They didn't run into any problems with it. They thought it was very easy for the students to get the information. I know before using Google Classroom for anything, forms, I set up Test Online. The kids had to type in the web address exactly how they saw it, capital letters, any sort of symbols that were in there. And I know kids messed that up one time. It was always tough for them to get back, see, and get to the test, waste a lot of time that way. So with Google Classroom, you can post a link and take somebody right to a form to fill out, articles, so on and so forth. But like I said, everybody was able to do it. They didn't have any problems with it. The students were able to join, and they liked using it a lot. Back to my content tab here. After creating and having an assignment and having the kids participate in it, they gave feedback, like I said, and then I had them take a post-survey. Post-survey, very similar to the pre-survey. And here's the questions right here. You can see just asking for their comfort level and some questions on how they thought the course went. And then the last thing I asked for was feedback on the course. I asked for this in the discussion tab again over here. Right down here, they clicked on there. They added their responses. Everybody enjoyed the course. They thought it worked well. One thing they did say for improvement was it did take a little bit of time to get used to using the course site. So maybe later on, if to expand on this, to modify it, having some sort of an intro to course sites so they kind of have an easier concept and easier idea, better idea of how to move around the website and where the links, what they need to do, where they can find the information. Overall, I found course sites to be very helpful. I thought it was easy to set up, and I thought my project went pretty well. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. I really just wanted the educators to see just the benefits of Google Classroom. I really enjoy using it, like I've said before, and it's just been very helpful, and it's very, very easy for the kids to get to. Mostly all the teachers here now are using Google Classroom, so they are familiar with it. And that was my project. Thanks.